Dr. Gilda. See, I did not watch the State of the Union last night, and I think I went to bed by that point. And so, give us an update. And I
Well,
think, yeah,
it was late for you, I guess. It was 7 o'clock here. I had just come home from an event, so I ran to the television to watch what Trump had to say. It was almost 2 hours, and I was just, look, I'm a media coach, and I was looking at him not only about what he actually said, but what a performer he is. He takes a word and he holds on to it, and then he leaves that word and he goes to something else. He is quite a performer. Well, anyway, so we had the right side of the auditorium and the left side of the auditorium. And when he brought up different people, like he brought up people who have been successful and this and this and this and this. And the Republicans got up and applauded like kids dying of cancer. The Ukrainian woman who was stabbed on the subway, and her parents were there crying their eyes out. Erica Kirk was there. Every time he wanted to give somebody a compliment, the right people, the people from the right and the people on the left did not stand. And he said something to the effect that, and our job is to make Americans the center of attention. I'm paraphrasing, the center of attention, that we have got to be here for our people, not for the illegal aliens. And that got a round of applause from the Republicans, and the left just sat there. Some had nasty pins like F ice or where are the files? Talking about Epstein files. These are the pins that they were wearing. And they just sat there and they looked like, mm. And they all looked like a sea of ugly, angry, nasty people. And when Trump saw that they did not stand for taking care of Americans first before illegal aliens, he said, "These people are crazy." I think that was the best line of all. And it was totally crazy that they did not stand for protections for Americans. But what you saw was so much anger and hostility sitting there. 70 of them decided not to attend. Good. Goodbye. Good riddance. And the others who did attend, uh, Omar was screaming at the president, "You killed Americans." Rashida Halid, Habib, what is her last name? Rashida was also screaming the same negative stuff, and they didn't have mics on, so that was not picked up exactly, but people understood what they were saying. And here were these people. One had survived cancer. One had been shot down in the military, and he got a Purple Heart. And you would think, yes, thank you for taking care of us. But we did not get that from the left. And I walked away saying, listen, you could find fault with anybody's speech. You can find fault with whatever anybody is saying. You can find fault with the validity. They said he lied, he exaggerated, he's blah, blah, blah. Uh, Trump Trump tends to speak boldly and big, in big terms, and some of it may not be exactly the truth. But that's everybody's used to the way he speaks. However, when you look at prices that are going down, gas prices that are going down, whatever, that the left is still hanging on to, It's too expensive to live here and blah, 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 blah. But they would not stand for Americans first. And I am sorry, there are too many people being killed by illegals who do not belong here. And the children who have disappeared, who I feel just horrendous about. We may never find those children. Holman found a number, quite a big number of children who were missing. But you would think it is the respect for the office as opposed to even respecting the man. The man did, in a bona fide way, win the presidency. Like him, hate him, it doesn't make a difference. He is our president. And there is a certain amount of respect that he is due because he has that office. But here he was knocking himself out for 1 hour and 40 something minutes. He is such a storyteller. I mean, I was not bored for almost 2 hours. I just came in from this affair. So I was not bored because every story was a real story and you wanted to hear how it began, how it ended, about people who were in the audience. So I'm disappointed that the other party was not respectful of the office. I don't care if they like him or hate him. I was disappointed that he did not respect the office. I mean, what else do we have? We don't have a king here. This is our as close to royalty as we have here in this country. And it was very disheartening to think that people sat there and you recognize these people, like uh the senator from Arizona, Mark Kelly. He just sat there with a nasty face on his face. And there were others who just sat there angry. Now, I talk about anger. Men in our culture are allowed to be angry, whereas women don't ever be angry as a woman because that is really ugly. And you saw the ugliest people. They were miserable. Would you want to share a dinner with them? Would you want to share a table with them? Would you want to share a drink with them? There is no way in hell I want to be around anybody who's angry. How about you? Would you? Nobody.
No, nobody. And the only
Nobody
thing that
would
was
choose
really
that.
interesting is Elizabeth Warren cheered for Trump, President Trump once. That's the only thing I saw in soundbite when he said about getting rid of being able to play the stock market if you're in Congress. And Elizabeth
I was
Warren did.
surprised that, yes, I noticed that also. And I was surprised that she agreed with that because she's made a boatload of money off that. But I was surprised she liked that. But most of them just sat there angry and
Mhm.
hostile. And I know wherever I am, I don't want to be represented by an angry lawyer, an angry doctor. I mean, I don't want to have anger around me. There is so much anger today, but I don't want to have it anywhere near me. And I am very careful of the friends that I choose, the men I go out with. If they are angry, I'm out the door.
Mhm.
So, I mean, this is something for all of us to consider because life is not a bed of roses. And there are times anger is a normal emotion. It tells us, whoops, something is not right and I have to make some changes. Fine. But this doesn't mean that you walk around with a sourpuss constantly. What that does to your body is another thing that we're not even going to talk about. But internally, all that upset destroys what's inside you.
Okay.
So, you know what? Go out, meditate, walk, go into the sunshine. Well, in Arizona, it's easy, but do what you have to do. But if you have an angry face, that's the way people are going to treat you. So get over it.
All right. Go to drgilda.com. That was a special sound.